that. Under the past. We are there were 9 files related to intimate partner violence or disputes, 5 which led to charges and presently before the courts. Like mentioned previously, the prolific offender program, offender management system is up and running. I noticed in the report, which I didn't write, there wasn't anything recorded for November. There definitely was some checks, but in the month of December, there's already been like dozens. So more on that next month. Moving over to reported occurrences, assaults were up a little bit, 17 compared to 15 at the same time last year. Sexual offenses 4 as opposed to 6 last year. It appears that everything is around the same or a little bit fewer reported occurrences besides like assaults, because there was 2 more in the month of November, and a decent amount of disturbing the peace and mischief, which is usually like people intoxicated in residence or outside being intoxicated. About the same amount of impaired driving complaints for, like I said, there's 2 of those that are, one the charges were actually sworn for, the other one is still under investigation. Moving on to prisoners, we had 14 prisoners in the month of November, up a little bit from last year. We had about 3 community policing engagements. Meetings with cultural leadership, reconciliation activities, and activities to increase awareness of policing, like going to the school, things of that nature. That's pretty much it for me.
Thank you. Any comments, questions? Councillor?
I know you're going to report on this next month, but while it's fresh in my mind, excellent job with JBT, Métis Daycare, and Town Daycare. Membership drive for toys and gifts for all the kids.
Yeah, it's funny because
it's going to be reported a month from now.
It's all being reported on, but it's already happened, and we're sitting here talking about it. And
please report on it next month. Don't
forget for sure.
There'll
be some pictures in there next month too from all that.
Well, it's fresh in my memory though. Great job.
We're going to be going to the child, trying to help out with the food drive on the 19th as well with the COs, parks, and toy delivery with the RCMPs kind of for Christmas Eve and things like that. So we've got things on the go. Doing the best we can with what we've got right now. So.
Thank you. Mayor Brooks.
So are your numbers still up? Are you guys at full capacity for members?
No.
Okay. What's your staffing level?
Right now, we've got members living in the community. We're at 6. We're losing 1 next month. But they're committed to 2 members a month incoming, and hopefully in the new year. I mean, there's a sergeant name, like I've already said. When he's getting here, I don't know. But there's national call-outs for constables because that's what's needed here. Members on the road, and that's just to be determined at this point. But there's basically an adequate staffing level that is going to be maintained until people are moved here on the ground kind of thing. So
does that have to do with like Project Guardian? Is that still ongoing? So
that's still ongoing.
So they're like that shared.
Yeah, but the relief members that are coming coming right now, doesn't really have to do with Project Guardian. Project Guardian is if all the members that we have and that we can't adequately respond to something that could still be used. But the relief members that I'm talking about, there's always going to be 2 extra in the community, no matter what we have. So, yeah, it is a big help having all these members. And like in November, that was when we had like 10, 11 members here. Just so happens that's when all this stuff is going on, thankfully, and we have adequate resources to deal with it. So, yeah.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions?
Maybe just, are you gonna still be doing some traffic stops? I know there was some for recently, like going through and just random traffic stops, but for the rest of the month to try and catch and carry drivers and such.
Yeah. We'll just kind of pop up whenever, and we were always out on the road and stuff too, and so yeah, on an as needed basis, or when there's adequate members around to do that. Yeah.
Okay. And one more thing, if any of you guys play hockey, I know they're short for the Christmas Classic happening at the end of this month.
Yeah.
They're looking for players, so maybe you guys should put in a members line, because they'll put you all together on the same team.
Yeah. Yeah. I play hockey, but I don't have any gear except for
We
skates
can
and a
fix
helmet,
that.
so-
We can fix that. That's not a
And I
problem.
also have to find the time.
Oh,
so.
okay.
Yeah, I would love nothing more than to be able to be involved in that kind of stuff, but unfortunately right now with staffing levels, it's a little harder, so.
Right, thanks.
Any other questions, comments? No? That's it. All right. Thank you
Okay,
guys for
have a good
coming.
night.
All right, moving on, can we have somebody move the approval of the minutes?
I move the minutes of the regular council meeting of December 9th, 2025 be adopted as presented.
Seconder,
I'll second.
thank you. Mayor Ferguson. Any comments, questions, discussion? Councilor Pruitt.
Yes, knowing that the press is prone to quote me every now and again, I would like to, there was a couple of errors in the minutes that I think should be, need to be rectified. First one was under section F, administration section F, where we were talking about the minutes reflect we were talking about the Uncle Gabe's Friendship Center. Some of the comments that were attributed to me should be actually under E, which was the seniors program. We were talking about the seniors prior to the Uncle Gabe's and the amount of work that the seniors do for our community and things like that. So if that could be appropriately attributed to that discussion. And then under the next item, which was the Uncle Gabe's Friendship Center, the last portion of that indicates there was I put forward that $1,000 be donated to the Uncle Gabe's Friendship Center, so just to clarify that. And then a little further on, under Mayor and Council, in my rant about the Power Corp, the last sentence references that major retrofit of 10 million, and the retrofit was actually 100 million.
So noted. Any other subjects for discussion, questions? Okay, all in favor? Passed unanimously. And we have business arising from the minutes. Attendance at the NMIT AC 2026 annual general meeting. Assuming we're just looking to confirm who's coming?
Yeah.
So, I guess we don't need to do that here, but if we haven't, just get the email into Mayor Ferguson.
Thanks. Yeah, so Ravina needs to know by the end of tonight's meeting, because otherwise we're gonna not be able to book hotels for the stay for folks who are planning on attending. Also needs to know if you're planning on driving, because that has additional costs associated with it. And she needs to know by tonight's end of meeting. I know some people followed up with email, but just tell Ravina tonight before you leave, whether
Thank you. Any other discussion on the business horizon minutes? Hearing none. Any declarations of financial interest? Hearing none, we move into administration. We have our Community Services Director's Report. I'll hand it over to SAO first, I guess, to
I'll ask the director to present her director's report.
Absolutely. Points I just really wanted to touch on was the collaboration from the community this past month. We hosted a really successful Santa Claus parade, and it was a huge team effort, both from the Community Services Department, the Municipal Services Department, the Senior Society, the Anglican Church, Santa, Fire Department, TDC, just to name a few. That list is exhaustive, and we're just super thankful to everyone who contributed this year. And with that, it was a very busy month in relation to programming. The library had some really successful programming this year. Lots of shout out to the staff because those programs take such attention to detail to execute these, and our community feedback is always really positive and overwhelming. So I just want to thank all the staff who worked so hard for those. The arena was up and running this past month, which was wonderful. It had a lot of programming in there as well, such as the Fabago tournament, which went really well. And yeah, open to any questions.
thanks.
I couldn't not see it as I read through it, in your feedback on the surveys, you talked about respondents also noted ongoing frustration with frequent closure of hot tub. I know we did a bunch of work on the hot tub. Do we have ongoing problems with the hot tub, or is this just basic tuning it in?
The closures of the hot tub revolve around kind of our chemical layout with the hot tub. The way that the hot tub is, the depth of it, we find that it alters our chemicals a lot more than if it was slightly shallower. And then we are currently working with Municipal Services to get some training done between our aquatics lead and myself, so that we can be more involved in the maintenance to help fix these problems quicker when they arise. So we're on track to do that in the coming weeks or the new year, and then that'll help contribute to being able to open it quicker, being able to treat it appropriately.
We just did a bunch of work on it, so we're just hoping that it's going to pay off. That's all. That's all I was looking for.
Absolutely.
Any other comments?
Yeah, comments, not questions. Seniors are very appreciative of the revised exterior entrance exit. It is a big improvement over what we've had, so I don't know where that goes. It's attached to the rec center, so I'll just throw those kudos out there. But I do have a concern with the picture selection in your report. Certainly there will be better pictures of Santa Claus. And that's all I'm going to say on that.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, we can move on to the.
Wait, I think someone,
Oh,
yeah,
is
Patty,
there- sorry.
yeah.
Somebody's always gonna be watching the TV for me. Patty, do you have something?
Yeah, definitely something we can kind of explore. I've noticed kind of our typical stream of relay of information to the community from the Community Services Department is we use our town, like our community Facebook page, the recreation page, and then we normally share that out to the bulletin board as well. We find sometimes we get really good interaction on there, and like we mentioned mentioned with like the senior walking, sometimes things slide under the radar. So definitely something that we can take into consideration and see how we can streamline our messaging more effectively.
Thank you. Any, Mayor Ferguson?
Thanks. Just for the attendance numbers for things for like, so when you're saying, you know, I think it was, there was, 1,800 people in the month of November in the arena. Are you using that based on registration numbers or actual people in the building?
That's the statistics that our arena staff are actively taking every 30 minutes on the clock.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, thank you. We'll move on to the Municipal Services Director's report. Let's go. Or
I'll ask the Director of Municipal Services to present his report.
The update on the garbage truck in there. So we were building something. It didn't work out. We even worked with a local contractor trying to adjust the bay. It wasn't successful, so we stopped that completely. It went into the side loading now, but that comes with its own issues. However, working with a consultant that had helped actually put Yellowknife's program together when they moved to this similar program and helped Hay River with this, reaching out. There's a couple of logistical things that we were working on together, but we should have something for next meeting for choice of purchase in that regard. So that'll be moving forward, and I can't give you the exact dates, but I can give you an estimate of implementation of the new program around spring cleanup. So we would do that around that time. So we're looking at 3 to 4 months from now, or 4 to 5 months, sorry, from now, for full implementation of the program. We'll have some more stuff coming out in the future meetings, but I just wanted to give you kind of an idea, as the garbage truck's been hot topic for a while. The hot tub, there is a chemical issue, and it has to do with the size of the hot tub. We are constantly adjusting this new system in the basement, but once we get that handle on that, but it does take a little bit of time, that should resolve. Again, working with community services on that going forward. Public Works, I want to give a big shout out to them with all the snow we've been having, and my injury not being down there to constantly kick them in the butt. No, I'm just kidding. I shouldn't say that, but to keep on them and that. They've been doing a great job on the roads. I've been getting a lot of phone calls actually, and getting positive calls about the grader and whatnot. So that's great. And I think that's all I had to share in addition to. No, one more thing, sorry. I should have the tender should be ready for the sidewalks in early January as well, and we'll be bringing some information around that as well in the way that we're going to be tendering that. Thank you. Oh, one more thing, sorry. One more thing. I want to wish you all happy season's greetings, and to wish the best for you guys. Thank you.
thank you. Deputy Mayor.
One question for you, Andrew. You're not making it off that easy. The last section called facility maintenance. You make a reference there to the air handler system and the surge protection system. We still don't have the part, if I read that sentence right. Are we looking at any threats this winter of losing our pool again, or are we going to be able to handle that as it unfolds?
I've been waiting for an update, as the air handling unit should have been installed this past Sunday. So at the time of the report written, at the time I wrote the report, I didn't have that information as they were going through it this Sunday, but I didn't get an update yet from facilities yet if it was successful or not. But not hearing something is usually good news. So I said, yeah, I'll know definitely tomorrow.
I just want to avoid another last winter experience, that's all.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Thank you. Any other, Mayor Ferguson?
Thanks. For the garbage truck, so we're saying that we're going to have a tender put out in 4 to 5 months, or we're going to receive a truck hopefully in 4 to 5 months?
No, I should have purchase options for you in January's meeting. We would have the truck and the program going in 4 to 5 months.
Then what is our plans for training and information sharing for the community? Because if we have a new system of service that we're gonna start offering here, and it's gonna be a different way, like different bins, different garbage, different pickup, we need to start getting folks educated on what that's gonna look like, having PSAs put out, like what's the plan for training and information sharing for the community?
I have a whole communication plan that'll be shared with you guys going forward, starting in January.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Benwell?
About the garbage bins that each household has to have, is the town supplying those and then we get charged for them? Is that how that works? Or they have to purchase their own? I don't understand that.
Director?
Yeah, so right now, though, again, I'll speak more to this in January, but the way the program's being designed right now, I believe, is the town is going to supply one bin. If you need more than one bin, then you would pay, because as you produce more garbage, you would pay for producing more garbage. The reason I want to run this around spring cleanup is that we would offer picking up the old bins if you don't want them anymore. At the same time, we drop off the new bins. So there's a bunch of logistics that are getting put into this plan and into the implementation of it. However, I don't want to concrete anything in this meeting today. Just know that we are working forward, and this will come. A lot more information will come in the next meeting.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Thank you, Director. And we're moving on to the briefing note on the purchase of the mystery servicer. Do you have somebody move that one forward?
Sure.
Mayor Ferguson?
I move that council approve municipal services to proceed with necessary infrastructure planning and equipment procurement.
And seconder? Councilor Tucky, thank you. Any discussion? Questions? Councilor Couvreur?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a question, in the briefing note, they talk about the need for infrastructure upgrades, primarily electrical and possibly some other additional upgrades. There's no indication in the briefing note of even sort of a ballpark of what those costs may look like. Are we talking $5,000 upgrade, 50,000, or even like, God forbid, 100,000? But I would feel a little more comfortable going ahead with this, knowing at least a ballpark of where we're sitting at with the idea of the necessary infrastructure upgrades.
Director?
Yeah, so we're with a local contractor here in town, and it'll be between $5,000 and $10,000. He just got to see the equipment, and the equipment will be coming in from the same supplier.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Mayor Ferguson?
Thank you. With this Olympia being like a different battery powered motor, are the local contractors equipped in town to be able to fix mechanical breakdowns? Like, are they trained does it work the same as a gas or propane run equipment? So does the local contractors, are they able to fix, repair maintenance on anything if it were to break?
Director?
Yeah, this is actually simpler to maintain the electric unit versus the gas powered or propane powered unit. It's just an electric motor with a battery.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Mayor Ferguson?
So does that mean that we are able to repair and maintain it in-house, but our local contractors the ones going to be doing the repair and maintenance if it breaks?
Director?
So the way it was explained to us by Big Hill Services, outside of a major critical failure, most stuff can be done in-house.
Any other questions, comments? None, all in favor? Passed unanimously. Alright, moving on, we have a donation request. Can I have somebody move that one?
I'll do that one. So I move that council consider providing funding support for the Fort Smith Girl Guides to assist with youth programming, subject to budget availability, and that council approve in principle a short town hall tour for the Fort Smith Girl Guides in the new year, to be coordinated with administration for an appropriate date and time.
Seconder?
I'll second.
Councilor Kruger. Discussion? Councilor Kruger.
Again, I'm not comfortable with the motion that doesn't include the amount. In the briefing note, it says $1,000, so I think that should be included if that's viable. And it also didn't say in the briefing note, I'm just wondering how many Girl Guides are there? Like, is there a number of kids that we're gonna be supporting through this? Does anyone know that?
Fair question, SSAO, or?
Director, do you have that information?
No, I don't, just that the ages being 9 to 11 is listed in the briefing note.
So they're not counted when they have the meetings like other meetings going on the rec center?
That information that wasn't provided in the request for a donation. We can find that information and we can report back to council on it. And if you would like that information before you consider the motion, why the motion can be tabled until we get that information for you. I don't think this is request was specifically related to the holiday season like the one for Uncle Gabe's or for the Senior Society was. If that information is something that you want before you pass the motion, then we can get that information and provide it to you in the first meeting in January.
Councilor Deputy Mayor.
Just a question to the SAO, I always ask this when we see these requests. Historically, have we been supporting the Girl Guides? Is this a new request, or is this a historical one that we see every year? I don't remember seeing it last year.
This is new.
SSAO.
I don't believe that we have provided funding to them in the past, but we have the request before us, so.
No, it's a new request, is what I need to understand. Okay.
Councilor Kruger.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To me, I would really like to see us have this, these types of items, especially our youth programming items, should be actually included as part of our budgetary process and sort of identified for the community services people to be able to make a decision on whether the youth groups fulfill the needs of our community services protocols and be able to say yes. There's $1,000 or $500 donation or contribution, like we provide contributions to a lot of other organizations. Why not have our youth programming identified up front as a yearly budget item? Since we're going to be going into budget talks, I think that's a very appropriate program. Youth are identified as a key strategic deliverable that we want to promote. So let's give them the tools to be able to do adequate youth programming and include it in your budget.
Thank you. Councilor Carter.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with postponing the decision for 1 month, because in my mind, it makes a difference if there's 3 active members or there's 30 active members, as to whether, you know, it's a smaller amount of money or $1,000. So if we can get that one bit of information, I'm not opposed to supporting the Girl Guides. I think it's a great program, and if they're not in immediate need until the new year, then let's table it and get the information
Thank you, the director was able to find the numbers in your director's report, so, you can provide that.
We do account that, over 3 sessions recorded in November, we had 35 participants in total,
So that's 10 per
10.
session or 35 times?
an average of 10 to 12 per session.
Thank you. Mayor Ferguson?
Sorry, I was just kind of going off of what Councillor Karshak was saying, is that, an attendance thing, so, I don't know if $1,000 is that's a lot of money for just 10, rather than it's just a 10 select from 9 to 10, versus Uncle Gabe's, when we gave 1,000, where it's 30 to 40 children on various ages with different types of programming in the evenings and all over. This is like us donating to a hockey group, which we have not and would not. And this is a specific type of group. I don't think that this falls under the same type of, I love Girl Guides. I grew up in Girl Guides, but I don't know if this meets the same type of helping the most people than just a select group of people.
Thank you. Councillor Brunette?
Oh, I hate to get back to my old rants, but I was just wondering, I know we're going through the process of updating our bylaws and policies and procedures, and I know I've been going on for years about the need for us to have a very definitive donation policy. And this again highlights the need. Standardize our donation policy. How do we measure value? How are all these different groups that we're giving donations to and contributions to, how do they tie into meeting the community's overall goals and objectives of making this a better community? Measurable achievements. So I'm just sort of, I guess, a question for administration is, are we going to be seeing a new draft policy or process for donation in the near future, i.e. within the next 3 to 4 months?
Councillor Tucky?
I think we have to be careful in terms of who we're donating money to. Girl Scouts and Cubs, Ventures, they're all national organizations. They supply all the things, the badges, uniforms, and all this kind of stuff. And these are usually organizations who need extra money, who put on activities in the community in terms of raising funds for themselves. And I don't think we should be in a position where we have these national organizations who normally do raising funds on their own be donating, because then I haven't heard of these organizations doing any fundraising, and why are they depending on the town if they need money? They are a recognized national organization in Canada. I'm sure they get some kind of support from the government already through the national headquarters and that kind of stuff. And I think we have to be cautious when we're giving these donations a review. I mean, if Uncle Gabe's, it's a very good cause. I think we have to scrutinize where the money's going and be careful doing it. That's all I wanted to say on that.
Thank you. Anyone else? Maybe you want to take another chair? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so what we can do here is, I was just gonna say process is we can vote and, disagree. If you don't want for this to go through, like, vote not in favor. I don't think, I'm not gonna vote in favor of this particular, motion. I don't think it's, strong enough for the town taxpayers, for a select small group. It's a specialized group. I associate it just the same as any kind of special club or, team sport. We wouldn't, donate to those kinds of things as well. And so, but yeah, I can take the chair.
Thanks. Yeah, so just on kind of my opinion, a couple of things. To Mike's point about the donation policy, I think back in the fall, maybe it was, we had a briefing note about the budget policy. I know it came up lots of times me at least, explained it pretty clearly and put me on a better page on where we sit with it. And I think we just need to do our homework and make the decision sometimes and just try and spread it out so that we don't run out at the end of the year. This one, I think I echo what some of the others are saying. It's a lot of money for a relatively small group. So just without more information or a more defined cause, I'm comfortable donating some money, but not that quantity. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Cheers back to you.
Thank you.
The only other comment I wanna make is that it's unfortunate that it's linked to a money request and a tour guide. I don't know with a tour, but the money I have an issue with, so, if we don't approve this, are we also saying no tour, or are we allowed to split it in any way?
We can send out that invite.
Okay, cause I just unfortunate that they're lumped together, they're two totally different requests.
Yeah, no more. Councillor Dave?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, to that end, like, it does say as the budget.
Yeah.
Right, so, but I do think it's important, I agree that we, a clear, donation bylaw and guidelines would be important, but I do think, just in the comparison of the sports teams in the past, when we've had sports teams come and present or, make a request, the difference was it was usually about, a request for funding for them to travel outside of the community, right? And so that was why, at least the ones that I've been involved in, that's why we vote in favor of those.
Okay. Any other? Oh, Councillor Tucky.
In closing, I would just like to, in terms of our donations, we usually give donations to organizations that are going to possibly benefit the town, like putting on a major event that's gonna bring people in, it's gonna have people spending money in Fort Smith. I think that's the main priority of our donations, is to assist the community, bring things into the community, not just to give money away. So.
Okay. SAO.
Thank you. In response to Councillor Couvette's recommendation or suggestion that a policy should be in place, I would agree with that, and I would think that once the budget has been approved, it would be a good time to strike a committee to work on a donations policy and bring that forward so that it clearly sets out when we'll accept requests for donations, and that at the end of the year we're not inundated with a donation request and we have to turn people away. So I would suggest that after the budget is approved, that's the time that we could look at the donations policy and perhaps the public relations budget line item too, and how it would be managed. So in February, we could bring forward a recommendation then on moving forward with the budget policy or the donations policy. Sorry.
Thank you. Any other comments? Questions?
Just one more.
Councillor Tucky?
And sort of getting back to the process, I thought that we had discussed one time that we were actually going to develop an application requesting for donations with such things in there as how would this benefit the community overall and that kind of stuff. Maybe that's something we should look at too.
SAO?
I would see that as being all part of the donations policy, not just a request for money, how it would benefit the community, how many people it would benefit, and those types of things. And if there's some enough substantiation, perhaps it's something that we can include in the community services budget as organizations that we will fund on an annual basis, and then that takes the requirement away from this table as to approving requests that come every year. But that would all be part of the donations policy, is the justification for it and then application process.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Any? Councillor Dave?
Just a question about their request. We've had other user groups ask for funding for like in-kind services, right, for say rentals and that sort of thing. Would what they're asking fall into that same category?
Well, I think it would be something that we'd take into consideration, right?
requesting for in-kind donations goes against the donations budget.
Right.
So because we have to recognize the revenue that we could have generated from the activity and the fact that council has, chosen to offer that in kind. So even those types of requests have an impact on the donations, budget. So those types of things would have to be considered as part of the donations policy as well. So regardless of, depending on what the amount of funding is left in the donations budget, an in-kind contribution still goes against that.
I just, sorry, just as like one of the items in the briefing note, for example, is pool rental or admission, right? Like, that seems like a pretty low bar for us to offer to the program.
Mayor Ferguson.
Do they rent from us when they have their meetings? Do we charge for them when they gather for their weekly meetings at the rec center? We do, okay? That would be another one as well.
Yep, they rent from the curling lounge, so it's a split contribution.
Councillor Goodright.
Unless, I guess, as part of our discussion, we still do have the option of tabling this request and asking them for additional information. And I would just, I'm really on the fence about this one. It's just the ambiguity in their request where they say planned activities may include. I'd like to see a more detailed, like, what are they actually needing funding for? Like, if you're looking at pool rentals, put a dollar value to it, then we can look at it as in kind. But then there's other ones like cross-country ski rentals, camping related costs. How much? Like $1,000, is that all gonna go to the ski club or is some of it going? I just need clarity on where, it is, again, we're talking about taxpayers' money and, we just need clarity on what it's going to be used for before we can make an informed decision. And I always get back to that, is we're required to make informed decisions. And right now, I cannot make an informed decision on this. So I'd like to put forward a motion to table this.
Okay, thank you.
Any further information?
I guess point of clarification, do we have to have a vote on this one before we make the new motion to table it, or?
You can't have a motion in a motion.
No, it just,
We have to
just
do a
table.
motion to table within a motion.
Yeah, you can just, it's tabled till next meeting.
Yeah.
So but you still have to have a vote on
We
that.
still have to vote on whether we're gonna table it.
Yeah, so the call to table it for next week.
So do we have a call to table, till the next meeting?
That's what I,
Okay, so all in favor to the table? Passed unanimously. All right. Moving on to, the budget. So we have a briefing note on the 2026 first draft of your budget, SAO. Should I speak to that?
Yes, thank you very much. So over the last few months, myself along with the directors of the departments have been working towards putting together a budget for the 2026 fiscal year. The budget is normally required to be done by December 31st each year. However, due to the late start that we got on this, we requested an extension of that deadline for 30 days. So now the budget is due by January 30th, 2026. So in there you can see that the budget that we're proposing for this year, expenses increasing from 14.1 million last year to 14.45 million this year. And then there is a number of other areas of significant concern there, or of significance. As current budget stands, we're looking at approximately $304,000 increase in revenue from taxation in the coming year, which represents a 7% increase over 2025. We're also looking at increase in, the rates and fees, or a review of the rates and fees bylaw to determine where additional, funds can be, raised, or fees that can be adjusted for that. One of the major ones in particular is the, fees that we charge for ambulance recoveries. Majority of those fees are paid by, the territorial government, excuse me, and, the proposed increases in those fees would bring us in line with other communities are charging, specifically Hay River and Fort Simpson. We'll be looking at, bringing information forward on the rates and fees bylaw as well. And in the budget, we've already accounted for some of those rate increases, so. I guess I'll, open up if, anyone has any questions. Just a reminder that, there is a budget workshop that has been scheduled for December 29th, where we can have a more open and frank discussion on, a number of the areas that we've put forward here, and provide you with information that we really can't provide you in this open forum. So, the questions could be waited till that time, email to us so that we can prepare, responses to those, before the December 29th meeting as well.
Okay, thank you. Councillor
I
Kerr.
know, and I'll keep specific, questions until that meeting, but does this reflect the roundtable discussion that council had a week ago or 2 weeks ago in terms of like the communications party and stuff like that? Is that reflected in here or not yet?
Yes, we have taken into account, the budget priorities that you had set, around communications, around levels of service, and if you could see in the budget document that, one part of that was, levels of services identified for each one of the departments, which I think should be helpful for council to understand, what the things that we do, the, constraints that we are faced with around, various plans, laws, that type of thing. So that's in there for your information as well. But yes, we did take into account the, budget priorities that were set by council at that meeting.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Councillor Couvrette.
Thank you for all the work that has been put into this. Just right off, I don't see a 7% increase in revenue being very palatable to our constituents. I would think we're probably looking closer to a range of about half of that realistically. Unfortunately, we probably will have to look at some form of increase. The cost of just doing business as like we are a municipal corporation, and the cost of doing business has gone up. Inflation is affecting everybody. Cost of services, heating, electricity, everybody's after our hard-earned dollars here, and so I'm actually looking very forward to a lively and robust debate on some of the numbers that we're going to be bringing forward, and I will have quite a few questions during the workshop. But at this point, I think realistically, I'm sort of thinking 3 to 3.5% increases, probably something more palatable to the ratepayers of our community. How we get there is going to be a great debate.
Thank you. SAO.
Thank you, and, to Councillor, Couvert's comments, the more questions that you can provide us in preparation for that meeting, the more, intellectual and, meaningful conversation we can have at that meeting. So I encourage council to forward your questions, to me, directly to me, and, we'll provide you with responses to those. But, all the directors will be at that meeting, and they'll all be prepared to speak to their areas of responsibility and how we, develop the budget.
Thank you. And Councillor Eaton, you have a question, comment?
I do, sure. So I note that the collective agreement with the town of Fort Smith is up in December 31st. With the negotiations for the employees, has it been included in this potential rate increase?
Yes, we have built in an amount, to anticipate, what the negotiations of the collective agreement may be. I can't share that number with council at this time, but there is an allowance in the budget for, possible negotiations, of the collective agreement, along with the legal fees associated with that negotiation as well.
Thank you.
Masi Cho.
Any other questions? Seeing none, looking forward to that meeting.
Just one,
Sorry, Deputy Mayor.
the service level document that's attached. Just two comments, I guess. One is, could you go through it and change all Smith Landing references to Petit Denis Landing, please, because it's in there as Smith Landing. Secondly, it's a really interesting document. It took me a while to get my head around it and read it twice. Our communications team, I think, will benefit from looking at how, I don't think we should give this document to the public in its format, but I think there's a lot of information in there that packaged in a communication document would help the community understand what the departments do. I go back to the survey we did pre-budget, and you hear comments from people in the community about town staff has grown too much. You know, all those kind of generic, broad complaints. But I don't know that people know really what people do. So reading this for me was, even as a deputy mayor, was insightful. I'm going, well, okay, yeah, that's true. There's this, there's that. So I would suggest, as we go through this exercise, some of this be talked about with the communications, which is, I think, at Alan and Patty in there, as everybody knows. And the mayor, thank you. There's some really good information here that, given to the public in a more clearer way, may help them realize that the town staff hasn't grown out of control. They're actually providing a really good quality level of service, or trying to.
SAO?
Thank you for those comments, and I apologize for the reference to, Smith Landing. We will get that changed in the next document. And I thought it was really important at this time, and as part of your budget, priorities, there was a lot of talk about level of service, so I hope this helps define those levels of service in some manner, and sort of make the link between the levels of service and the actual dollars that you are approving. So I hope that's helpful, and again, I apologize for the reference.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to council business, bylaws and policies. Can we have somebody move the third reading of the Jim Hood SAO appointment bylaw?
I'll move that the Jim Hood SAO appointment bylaw, number 1073, be given third and final reading.
The seconder,
I'll second it.
Councilor Day.
There you go.
Any discussion, comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Passed unanimously. And can I have somebody move the first reading of the land disposal bylaw number 1074? Mayor Ferguson.
I'll move that the land disposal bylaw 1074 be given its first reading.
Seconded by Councilor Couvret. Any comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Passed unanimously. And if we can have the second reading.
I move that disposal bylaw 1074 be given second reading.
And seconded by Deputy Mayor.
Check on that.
Any comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Passed unanimously.
Can't we do the third reading because they're all here? Or all on the agenda?
SAO?
You can do the third reading, however, it's always prudent to at least give council an opportunity to reflect on the motion or the readings that they have. And just like last week when we had all councillors present, we could have given third readings to the SAO bylaw. It's always best to give council that opportunity to
starting with Councillor Tucky.
I've been in and out of town so much I'm missing everything, but I hear it's been quite active around town, thanks to the Christmas season. So it's good to hear that, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you. And I don't think there's much to add for me, other than hopefully everybody has good holidays. Safe travels for those that are traveling. Councillor Courant.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a huge shout out to the volunteers that are keeping our long treasured tradition of the Santa Claus float and thing going around the community. I know it's going to be bitterly cold for them, but they step forward. So everybody, they go driving by, stick your head out the door at least and give them a good wave and a shout out. The work that they're doing is just really tremendous and really beneficial to our community. Other than that, everybody have a great festive season and stay safe. And please look out for vulnerable people. If they're out there, they need a hand at times. So if you can extend anything to them, please do.
Thank you. Councillor Benwell.
I just wanted to say a Merry Christmas and all the best in the new year to everybody in Fort Smith, and to keep all those less fortunate in your prayers, especially that little young family that got in a truck accident coming home from their shopping spree. They're all in the hospital now. The two babies are in the Solomon Hospital, and the mother's in there as well. They all got hurt. Just keep them in your prayers. And
thank you. Councillor Reid.
Sure. So I'll just follow up with Councillor Benwell. So I do want to speak about our fellow councillor, Councillor Amy Harris with the Thabati Dennisuflene, and her partner and her two children that are in the Stollery Hospital. So I know that the community has got some waffles, I think you guys call it up here, to generate some funds for the family during the Christmas holidays. So and then Amy is also the executive director of Uncle Gabe's Friendship Center, and I advocate for them as much as I can. So, but with this being the end of the school season for 2025, Miss Michelle McNeil has been keeping those kids fed since September almost by herself. So definitely a big shout out to her, feeding 30 plus kids Monday to Friday, warm meals. Sometimes that's their only meal. And then we also have Silas as a young person who comes and volunteers his time with us, and then also Damon and Miss Brenda Shalafu. So I definitely want to recognize those volunteers that help us keep the kids fed and happy and willing to learn. The food bank is going to be closed until January, so please just that the community be aware of that. And the JBT Christmas concert, they're doing an auction for 6 prime seats, and the dollar amounts are coming in, but I think we can make it a bit more competitive. So just doing a plug for that, and Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you. Councillor Garchuk.
Yeah, my season's greetings and Happy New Year to all. This is our last meeting, official meeting, regular meeting before the new year. And I just want to give a shout out from the seniors to the town. Thank you very much for the in-kind donation, and for the rec center staff specifically for their help in setting up and clean down. It was a very successful event. I estimate that we fed over 110 people, and a lot of people took meals home. And we want to send out a big thank you to Santa, whoever that is, who came by and helped spread good wishes with the seniors as well. So just kudos to the town. I saved it till this time, but it was much appreciated, and a lot of seniors had a great meal. So thanks very much.
Bay.
Thank you. Just continuing on with the subject of the family that were injured in that car accident. There is an art sale at the seniors room on Thursday at Kay Hamilton, and her family are donating, I believe, a bunch of their own collection up for sale to help fundraise for that family. So it's just one more way that you can help them. So that's Thursday at the seniors room from 5 to 8. And then just season's greetings, happy solstice, and looking forward to seeing a bit more of that sunlight and warm weather come around, and just with all that, just really appreciative of all the town staff who keep everything running while many of the rest of us are on holidays or relaxing, and you guys are doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor?
I'll keep beating the drum for resolutions for the NWTAC. I'll need them in January. Remind you that Mike did one, Councilor Mike Rubin did one last year for the Power Corp. I did one for Vision for the Northwest Territories. This is GNWT level services to the community, so think about it over Christmas. If you have a great idea, let me know in January. We can help you work it out. And I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. This has been an interesting week in the world. Some very tragic stories, some very hard stories. I know we have a small Jewish community in Fort Smith. There's not very many, but to them, my condolences and my support for what you're going through as a community. It's been a rough, even though it's Christmas, it's been a rough couple days. So, but on that, Merry Christmas to everybody in Fort Smith, and keep having a good time. And I'm sure I'll bump into a few more of you before Christmas Day.
Thank you. And Mayor Ferguson.
Thank you. Yeah, season's greetings and Happy New Year to all the friends now until our meetings in January. I just want to, send out the message of make sure to check on people during Christmas. Some people are alone, or they might not ask for help, or they might need something. Just if you haven't seen someone in a while, or you're like, hey, what's happening with that, folks? Stop by, bring a plate of food, and visit them. Just make sure you're checking on your people. Also go out and on our Facebook page, give us the best Christmas decorated home in the community. We want to know who's going to be the winner. I mean, we've got some Griswold contestants out there. I've seen them. I went out and looked. So on our Facebook page, post a picture, nominate someone, tell us why we should select them, and we will pick the winner on December 22nd. And yeah, just a big thank you to all the town staff for your great job throughout this whole year. Very much appreciate all the hard work you guys do. Look forward to working with you guys in the new year.
Right on. Thank you. So we have our dates of our next council meetings. Regular meeting of council for protective services and corporate services on January 13th, 2026 at 7 p.m. And then we have our regular meeting of council for community services and municipal services on January 20th, 2026 at 7 p.m. We don't have any excusing of councilors.
Did you want to call for a chair volunteer for that meeting in January 13th?
That's a fair point. Does anybody want to volunteer to chair for either of those meetings? Councilor Couture? Oh, sorry.
Councilor Tucky? We'll do the 13th.
Okay, so we have Tucky on the 13th. Couture, would you like to do the final? Thank you. Okay, so we have no excusing of councilors. On the question period, nobody here.
I move we adjourn at 8:07.
Seconded by Councilor Ray. All in favor?